In this video, we're going to take a look at simple interest word problems. So let's take a look at this example here. So we have Luke and Wanda Rin have $8,000 to invest. They want to earn $850 of interest for the year. Their money can be invested at annual interest rates of 10% or 11%. What is the minimum amount at 11% with the rest at 10% that will earn them $850 in interest? So what we want to do is we want to see or notice that we have two accounts. We have this account, we'll just call it A, which is the 10% interest, and then we have this account B, which is 11% interest. And so we're going to be doing something with these, but this is the general setup for all of these simple interest word problems where we're investing it into two different accounts. So we need to remember that interest is equal to the principal times the rate, which is your 10% and 11%, times the amount of time that you're investing. And in this case, it says for 1 year. So our principal for our 10% account is, we'll come back to that. Our rate is 0.10. We're going to put it in terms of a decimal, so just moving the decimal 2 places over in the 10%. And then the time is 1 year. Notice too how our rate is in terms of years. Okay, principal here, we'll come back to that. Our rate here is 11%, so again, 2 places, and then our time is also 1 year here. So since it is asking, so we're going to look at these principles now. Since it's asking what is the minimum amount at 11%, let's say that our principal for 11% is X. Now we see that we've invested a total of $8,000. So if we've invested X at 11%, it's going to be $8,000, the total amount that we invested, minus the amount that we invested at 11%. So now we see this problem. We have our interest here for our 10% and our interest here for our 11%. And we need to now look at the problem and say, okay, are they equal to each other? Is one bigger than the other? What are we doing with this? And so when we come up here, it says we want to earn $850 interest for the year. So that means that if we take the interest of our, I'm just going to use a little sub 10%, and we add the interest of our sub 11%. So the interest at 10% plus the interest at 11% will equal $850. So now what we notice is that all of this stuff inside here, if we take our principal, 8,000 minus X, let's put that in parentheses, we multiply it by the 10%, multiply it by the amount of time, we can add it to X times 11% times 1. And we know that that will equal $850. So now we come and we distribute this through, and we get 800 minus 10 hundredths X plus 11 hundredths X equals $850. Now we can, let's isolate our variable terms. So we have these two. I guess we can combine them first. So we have a minus 10 hundredths X plus 11 hundredths X. That leaves us with a positive 1 hundredths X. And we still have this 800 here. We have this 850 here. Now let's isolate our variable term by subtracting 800. Okay, now let's bring this over here. I'm just going to rewrite, and 850 minus 800 is just $50. Okay, now we can divide both sides by 1/100th, and when we divide 50 by 1/100th, we get 5,000. And this is $5,000. So now what we've just found was that look back at what we defined X as. It's our 11%. So we need a minimum of $5,000 at 11%, which then leaves $3,000 at 10%. Now let's go in and check the answers. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this information here. The $5,000 at 11% and $3,000 at 10%. So we're going to go and we're going to plug in $3,000 times the 10% times the amount of time, which is 1 year, plus $5,000 times 11% times 1, and this should equal $850. So here's to hoping. 3,000 times 10 hundredths is 300, plus 5,000 times 11 hundredths is 550, times 1 is just 550, which equals 850, and 850 equals 850. Checks out. So we see then that we need a minimum of $5,000 at 11%. You can check out some of the other videos that I have posted if you need more help. Thanks for watching.